People in trauma are attracted to me. Even one of the things I was having a problem with dating is men are attracted to my frequency. Period. They are. Not in a creepy way. Sometimes they think that their attraction is romantic or sexual or something like that until they sit down with me or meet me and sit down with me. I've had men who thought they was like we done gone on a date. This happened like recently. He did a whole bunch of, stuff talking and so he wanted to take me out. For me to go out, you want to first meet, you got to be somewhere we got to go somewhere I'm safe. You got to spend a whole bunch of money. My spot is Leo's Coney Island on Belleville Road. They know who I am when I walk in there. That's my spot. I'm in there all the time. They know me by my purple. So I'm safe there. I feel safe there. And so if you want to meet and greet, you got to meet me there. And so in his mind, I could tell that he thought he was coming for a takedown. Then he sat down with me. And I'm going to tell you something about feminine and masculine energy. On the phone, he had masculine energy. But maybe because my mindset is I don't really care about what I hear on the phone, I'm not going to make any determinations about my attraction or anything to somebody until I'm face to face with them. And so he probably thought he was no, I ain't gonna say he did. He thought he was coming for a takedown. Like he's one of them guys who think he's a high value guy. He works in a plant. He feel like, women should fall at his feet because, he's stable, got 401k, drives a nice truck, got his own place, But when he sat down at the table with me and interacted with my energy, he shifted automatically. Literally, he couldn't even look me in the eye. He couldn't look me in the eyes. He couldn't talk all that stuff he was talking on the phone because he recognized that he was in the presence of somebody that the ancestors has chosen. He recognized that. And he when I say masculine energy and feminine energy, he didn't in person, he didn't have enough masculine energy to put me in feminine energy. My balls were bigger than his. And he bowed down and he left. I didn't even let him pay for my breakfast. And he didn't mind. That's what I'm saying. My balls were bigger than his. Let me take my glasses off because I can't see the phone with my glasses. Yes, I do have my eyelash bag. I do massage therapy. I get a massage every 2 weeks as part of my self-care. And her little thing you put your face down in pulled my eyelash off. So yesterday morning I was on here with just one eyelash because I didn't have glue. Over here looking for my coffee. But anyway, my balls were bigger than his. Never spoke to him again. I couldn't even tell you what his name is right now. That's how quick I let him go. Something shifts in you when you come into the understanding of who you are and why everything in my life was chaotic. Everything was in chaos. I was at ground zero. Everything was changing. Everything had changed. I was changing. Everything around me had already changed, but I was adapting to those changes. And, in that adaptation, religion just fell off for me. Then I started meeting people. No, for years, I just sat with God. For years, I just sat with the Most High. I would go to church. But I wouldn't. I didn't go to church for anything but the musician. Shout out to David Vaughn, who's one of my sons now, who played in a church here in the area here. And I don't know why I went to this church. It's like 2 or 3 churches in a row, and I chose that church. I don't know. I went in that church, and he was there. I don't know what kind of church it was, but it was a Christian church. They had worship, because he's a musician and a singer, and I'd sit on the front row like I belonged to the church. And the reason I do that is I didn't want to see anybody but him, so I sat on the front row right in front of him while he did worship, and I would cry and I would bawl and whatever I needed, what pressure was in me was coming out with his with the energy on him. He was literally soothing my pain. So every Sunday I would go to this church for him to be in the energy of his music and the sound of his voice. And it would soothe the pain from the trauma. It would soothe, my soul and my spirit, where I could make these changes, because it was so hard. And I love him because he's so sweet. He didn't even know what he was doing for me, but immediately we were connected. And I understood that we would always be connected. I would go to the church, go through worship, release what I had to release. And then after worship was over, they normally do an offering. But I would give my offering directly to him. I didn't know he wasn't getting paid to do that. I would give my offering directly to him every Sunday until, he left, I left. He left, I left. I think that was pretty much the last time I went to church. But he, in my last event, played for me. And he is a part of the Empire. The Empire is my family. That's what I call my family. You know why? I'm calling my family to a different frequency. You may not understand what I'm doing, but I understand what I'm doing.